Mr. President, once again, the President of the United States has failed to meet the statutory deadline to propose a budget. In fact, he's missed the deadline so many times that people hardly notice anymore. Failure seems to become the rule, not the exception. The President has now missed the budget deadline 5 times since he took office in 2009. By comparison, his 3 White House predecessors missed the deadline a total of 4 times in 20 years. 5 times under President Obama, 4 times in the last 20 years under his 3 immediate predecessors. All totaled, it's now the 18th time that the Obama administration has missed a legal deadline related to the federal budget. I guess the President and his administration consider the law purely an advisory matter, not binding on them. The law is for other people, not for this President and for his administration, seems to be their attitude. Now, the reason this is so important is because, as we all know, whether it's a family budget or a budget for your business, setting a budget is where you establish your priorities. The things you have to have, the things you'd like to have, but maybe need to put, and then those things that you really can't afford. That's how you budget. That's why it's so important. But if your budget includes massive amounts of new spending, along with firm opposition to major reforms, well, you'd have no choice but to ask for a huge tax increase. And the President, I don't think, wants to put himself on record again, like he did last year, for another huge tax increase, nor does he want his party's members who are running for election in 2014 to have to cast the hard vote on the President's own budget. So, you know, last year his 2014 budget proposal would have raised taxes by roughly $1 trillion. $1 trillion tax increase. That's on top of $1.7 trillion that taxes have gone up during the last 5 years under this administration. Well, it looks like the President's priorities are more taxes, more spending, and more debt. But you know, if those sorts of priorities led to robust economic growth and job creation, we'd see one of the strongest economic recoveries in American history. But the truth is, more taxes, more spending, and more debt are not a recipe for economic growth and job creation, just the opposite. We're seeing the evidence of that right now. We are suffering through the weakest economic recovery since the Great Recession in modern history. Actually, we're seeing the weakest economic recovery since the Great Depression. Right now.